Intel's new CPUs get announced. Nvidia's ability to acquire ARM just got a little bit more pressure, and we got some more details on Intel's upcoming GPU. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast. Let's go ahead and talk about the big thing that everybody's talking about, which is Intel's back. If you go anywhere on tech YouTube, you can see everybody clamoring over Intel's 12th generation chips because this is the first new architecture that Intel is releasing since Skylake all the way back in 2014, 2015. It's a big deal. However, there's some stuff that we need to talk about when it comes to what Intel showed off yesterday during their Intel Innovation event, and it at least needs to be taken with a giant grain of salt because they decided to do all of their testing and their competitive analysis in Windows 11 and showed off how they're much better than AMD, while also not allowing AMD to have the update where Windows 11 was crippling it because of the L3 cache issue, which we've covered in previous episodes of Hot News. And so their benchmarks basically show a completely unfair comparison, which is not necessarily out of the MO for Intel when it comes to how they promote their chips. Do Alder Lake chips look good? Yes, especially even when they're comparing them to themselves. A lot of their comparisons were 12900K versus 11900K, of which you can see that there are actual game-changing performance gains that can be made in certain games. However, the ones where you compare it directly to AMD really can't be said until Windows 11 has that cache fix for the Ryzen chips. Intel said that they're confident that even with the fix, everything will still be good for them, but at the same time, it's just kind of something that they've done time and time again, where they put themselves on a pedestal and then they hamper the competition, which obviously card stacking is part of marketing. It's how you get things done. You show yourself in select scenarios versus your competitors, showing how you're better in those very specific scenarios. AMD does this as well. However, we're waiting for a day where Intel is not explicitly doing this, especially given that they have had so many actual ethical issues in their past. It just really doesn't look good when they're doing stuff like this. But what do you think of Intel's new benchmarks? I mean, even showing things in gaming performance, 28% improvement in some games versus the 11900K. It has leaps in content creation workload up to 100% in that Adobe of After Effects Pulse benchmark. Let me know what you think of Alder Lake down below in the comments, but we also got listings from OEM computer makers of their Alder Lake launches, as well as a whole bunch of motherboard vendors, all of the ones that you could possibly think of, announcing their Z690 stuff. Asus also announcing new power supplies that should be coming for next generation GPUs, which I'm really confused about, but it's for the PCI Express Gen 5 connector, even though that's the 12-pin power connector that Nvidia kind of did proprietary stuff on their Founders Edition. Not 100% sure how that's gonna work, but new PCI Express Gen 5 being supported by Asus's new power supplies. And today's episode of Hot News is supported by The Ridge, my friend. The Ridge wallet is how I carry around all of my cards and whatever cash I happen to be given by somebody and then never spend because it just sits on the back little flap. My friends, the Ridge wallet should replace your old school wallet, okay? Big, bulky, receipt carrying, tons of documents, pictures of your kids. You got a phone now, friends. You don't need to keep pictures of your kids in your wallet. I've never done that, actually, so I don't know anybody who does that anymore. That might be an outdated reference that I'm making there. But my friends, the Ridge wallet is the sleek, minimalistic way to carry your cards. Up to 12 cards can fit, and it has room for cash, either with the cash strap or a money clip on the back. They've got over 30 different colors and styles, including carbon fiber, which is my daily carry, and burnt titanium, and they have over 40,000 5-star reviews, and they come with a lifetime warranty because of the durable materials that they're made out of. And they're so confident that you're gonna love it. They'll give you a free 45-day test drive with it. You can return it for a full refund in case you don't want it. Hardy, beautiful, minimalistic, sleek, and sexy. The Ridge wallet is everything that you could possibly need. And if you use our link in the video description, ridge.com/hot news, you can save 10% by using code hot news at checkout, which will get you free shipping as well. So go to ridge.com/hot news to save 10% and get free shipping with that by using code hot news. Now, you thought that was about money. Let's talk about more money. Cryptostonks. Bitcoin down 4% on the day, having a rough time, just below 60 grand. Ethereum down 4.6% to be at just over $4,000, and Dogecoin down 8.5% on the day to 24.5 cents, which I can hear everybody in the comments, shut up. I know what you're going to be commenting. Don't care. It's gonna die. It's a fad. Let it die, okay? And if I eat my words later on because some of you guys became millionaires because of it, totally fine with that. I have no problem sleeping at night just because I'm risk averse and don't want to gamble on my future. I'd rather just, live life without moonshots. GameStop down 2.3% on the day to close at 173.60. This is despite the fact that they're really trying to lean into the meme with them having job listings for their Web3 gaming platform, as well as NFT platform managers, director of product marketing, senior software engineer for their NFT platform. In case you didn't know, GameStop is making an NFT platform, which makes as much sense as me. Well, that's not a whole heckin' lot. AMC also down on the day, 3.65% to close at 34.74. Rough day for most things all around the board. However, it's not a rough day for Lucid because they've announced that they're going to start deliveries of their Air luxury electric vehicle on October 30th, having a delivery event for these cars, they're expected to be a high-end competitor to Tesla. They're also probably likely going to compete with the new Mercedes EQS, which is going to be a high-end luxury vehicle. I'm curious to see how well this company performs if they can survive. They're the 16th most valuable car company, and they have yet to make a delivery, but that changes this week. What also changes is Rivian's producing their trucks, and they had an oopsie-doopsie small little battery fire at their electric pickup truck factory. Nobody got hurt. Everything seems fine. Just a eensy-lincy small little automated battery sub-assembly area fire, and you just need to use a hose line to extinguish it. Everything's okay. Electric vehicles aren't combustion chambers because they're fire hazards. Anyways, we talked about in a previous episode how Hertz is purchasing 100,000 Teslas from Tesla directly, no discount, and they've just announced that they're going to use half of that order, 50,000 of them, to be available to Uber rideshare partners so that they can actually give people on Uber rides in Teslas, which I just have to say, I really don't like this for a couple of reasons, which is they're charging way too much money for this kind of stuff. If you go on Uber or Lyft's rideshare platform where you can potentially rent a car through them, you're paying like $900 to $1,200 for like Corollas or Camrys because it includes things like insurance and all of that, and that gets taken out of your pay when you're being a rideshare partner with them, which is just way too much. If you fully finance, you put zero money down on a Tesla Model 3, your payment's gonna be like $850. Insurance, honestly not that bad on Teslas. You maybe expect, let's just say for the sake of argument, $100 extra a month, which is way more than I've ever paid for my Tesla's insurance. You're looking at less than $1,000 a month to have a Model 3 that you have 100% financed with no money down, and that's what they're getting to pay you for a Camry. I cannot expect what they're going to charge these Uber partners for Teslas. It's just, I don't like it, don't want to see where it's going, and it's kind of sad because Teslas are almost like the perfect ride-sharing vehicle because they have next to no maintenance because you don't have fluids and all of that kind of stuff. You don't really use your brakes because you have the regenerative braking that's helping you out on everything. They're really good for ride-sharing, and if this could potentially include like free supercharging, that might make it a little bit better, but I'm not looking forward to exactly how they're going to take advantage of their ride-sharing partners right now. Tesla taking advantage of technology by allowing you to view where your car is with its Sentry remote viewing. This is now available as a software update to everybody on iOS who has their premium connectivity plan to their Teslas, where you can now remotely view your car surrounding and review all of the Sentry mode stuff that's going on. So in case you think something's happening to your vehicle or just want to check out the scene, make sure there's no pigeons gonna crap on your bird or crap on your car, then you can use this feature to help you with that. And you want to use the new MacBook Pro features of being big for some reason. That was a terrible segue. Anyways, iFixit coming out saying, hey, these are actually repairable to some extent, at least in their initial report, showing off that Apple at least thought ahead by making the battery pretty easily replaceable. You take off the bottom panel, then there are battery pull tabs, and then you have to remove the touchpad to get under and remove the mid battery. But for the most part, they're thinking that this is one of the most repairable MacBook Pros that's been out since 2012, which is really good to hear. Apple maybe not trending in all of the wrong directions. The MacBook Pro really seems to be like a return to form for them. I kind of really like this. People seem to really like Spotify as well, because Spotify's own internal metrics, which whatever that means, now indicates they have more people listening to their stuff versus Apple Podcast listenership. Okay, so Spotify is now better than Apple Podcasts. If you listen to podcasts, what do you use? Obviously, there are people on Android, but what application are you using to listen to podcasts, whether you're on iOS, Android, you listen to it on desktop, you use an RSS feed. Let me know down below in the comments. But didn't segue this properly. MacBook Pros, while they might be a return to form for Apple, they are not a return to design form on software, okay? Hardware seems pretty gosh dang good. They did not communicate appropriately with their software team to be like, hey, you know how we have a notch? Well, Quinn Nelson from Snazzy Labs tweeting out this, showing when there's too many items in that top taskbar, it actually ends up hiding the items and you can click on them, but you can't see what's going on. It makes it impossible for you to actually use it. Good job, software design team at Apple. Just absolutely gorgeous. Apple also gorgeousing their way into the PS5. Apple Music now available on the PS5. That's what that segue was. And this segue is talking about how Google Stadia is now going to offer you a free 30-minute trial, at least with a couple of games. They're trying it out for a little bit in case you want to play Hello Engineer. You can click a link, you get a free trial where you're logged in via your Google account, and you can try to play the game for 30 minutes on Stadia. Obviously, this is a way for them to try to incentivize new people trying to get onto their platform. I think they just don't understand what exactly they're trying to sell, so they keep doing weird gimmicks like this, and I doubt it's actually gonna work very much. And who knows whether the merger between Nvidia and ARM is going to work? Well, not a whole lot of people, and the EU wants to formally is actually not wants to, but is formally investigating this acquisition that Nvidia is doing. The European Commission opening a formal investigation, which would have Nvidia purchase ARM for $40 billion. Essentially, they're just trying to figure out, is Nvidia going to screw anybody over? Are they going to take control of technologies that everybody else needs? Are they going to use the fact that they own ARM to make all of Nvidia stuff more profitable and kind of edge out all of the rest of the people who are using ARM? The obvious answer is yes, of course they're going to do that, but bureaucracy has to get us to that conclusion is essentially where we're at this point. And where we're at with Intel's GPUs is they confirmed some details about it yesterday at their innovation event, where they talked about how it has 32 Z cores, which means it has 512 execution units, which means all of the rumors have been correct. That's a high-end card that should potentially compete, hopefully, at the very worst, with an RTX 3070. Maybe it could get bumped up to an RTX 3080. I'm excited for it. We're looking to potentially see these around CES time, so January of 2022, but Intel continuing to trickle out information about that. And I'm gonna trickle on out of this episode of Hot News. Thank you so much for watching. You should check out yesterday's episode of Hot News, where we talked about how AMD's 3D V-Cache technology might be coming sooner than you think. And I'll see you in your thoughts later on for breakfast tomorrow. Cheers.